Hello and welcome to today's lesson. We're going to be covering topics under the Standard 2.2 in 3rd grade and also topics under the Study Island lesson, Real World Problems. So as you are going through today's lesson, please make sure that you are taking notes. If I ever go too fast, you can just pause and rewind and get caught back up, and that's only going to help you be able to have something to study from and to look at when you're trying these problems on your own. Real-world problems means that we are going to be using our multiplication skills and adding and subtracting skills to solve word problems. And it's really not as hard as it sounds. You're just going to have to pay attention to those key words that tell you whether it's addition, subtraction, or multiplication. And I'll also give you some tips and tricks to help you out there also. And you can even pause at the beginning of a question, work the problem out by yourself, and then watch the video so that you can check yourself and see where it is that you're already doing fantastic and where it is that you might need some help still. So I'm so glad that you are joining us today, and let's go ahead and take some notes.
Here are some steps that you can follow to help word problems go smoother. So the first part is to understand the problem. So make sure you take the time and read the problem carefully. And make sure, ask yourself, okay, what is this problem asking? And then is there a way that you can picture the problem? Can you draw or make a model of it? Just so you can make sure you understand everything you can about the problem. Then actually solve the problem. So think about what you're being asked and decide what operation to use. So am I going to use add, subtract, or multiply? Then after you get an answer, review your answer. Reread the problem and say, okay, does my answer make sense? And then check your work. Did you actually calculate correctly? When you are going through these problems and reading carefully, look for these key words. These are the words here that typically mean that you're going to be adding as to solve your problem. You have combined, addition, sum, both, in all, together, perimeter, more than, total, plus, add. And here are keywords for multiplication: triple, factor, multiply, twice, product, each, per, in all, multiply, area, times, double. And then here are subtraction words: subtract, decrease, fewer, remain, take away, minus, less than, and how many more. Looking for those words in the word problem can help you distinguish between, okay, will I add the numbers, multiply them, or subtract them to get the right answer? This first question says, a button factory produces and inspects exactly 3,843 buttons each week. This week, 3,371 buttons passed inspection, while the rest were broken. How many of the buttons were broken? So here, I know the total number of buttons, and I know how many passed inspection, so I know a certain part, and it wants to know what is that other number, what is that other part that were broken. So that means here, since I have the whole and I'm looking for a part, I'm going to be subtracting these two numbers. That's my plan. And so here, 3 minus 1 is 2. I'm going to have to borrow and make the 4 a 14 and the 8 a 7. 14 minus 7 is 7. 7 minus 3 is 4. And then 3 minus 3 is 0. So that means 472 buttons were broken. And if I look at my answer and what it was that I was asked, my answer makes sense. It's not too big of a number or too small of a number. So D is going to be my final answer. My next question is, Kent is selling tickets to a concert. He started out with 6,877 tickets, and he has sold 2,874 tickets. How many tickets does he have left to sell? So how many does he have left? Those are keywords that tell me subtraction. So subtraction is going to be my plan. So I'm going to take those two numbers and subtract them, making sure to line up the place values so that I subtract correctly. 7 minus 4 is 3. 7 minus 7 is 0. 8 minus 8 is 0. And 6 minus 2 is 4. So I have 4,003 tickets left to sell. And so if I look at my how many he started with and how many he has sold, having 4,000 about left over, that answer makes sense. So that is going to make D my final answer. My next problem here says Wendy supplies snacks for her company's break rooms. Last year she ordered 2,641 snack bags. This year she ordered 1,558 snack bags. How many snack bags did she order during both years? So both years here is the same as saying all together. And those are keywords that tell me that I'm going to add these two numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and line up these two numbers vertically, making sure keeping all the place values straight. And then I'm going to add them. 1 plus 8 is 9. 4 plus 5 is 9. 6 plus 1 is 11. So I write down the 1 and carry the other 1. And then 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So if I think about the fact, how many did she order both years, the 4,199, that answer makes sense. So my answer here is B. This next question says, Melinda earns 10 minutes to play video games for every hour she spends on homework. If she spends 2 hours on homework, how many minutes will she earn to play video games? So here it's 10 minutes for every hour. So she works 2 hours. So the first hour she gets 10 minutes of video games, and the second hour she earns 10 minutes of video games. So if I add 10 plus 10, that's going to be 20 total minutes she gets to play video games, which is choice A. This next question says, Kendra's puppy is 14 pounds. Her pet doctor told her that the puppy could be 3 times as big. How much could Kendra's puppy weigh? So here my keywords is 3 times. That times tells us that we're going to multiply by 3. So the puppy is originally 14 pounds, but it could be 3 times as big as that. So you're going to take 14 times 3. Now, if you're not too familiar with how to multiply this way, you can also add 14 3 times. Both of these will get you the same answer. So here, I'll show you how to do it both ways. 3 times 4 is 12, so I write down the 2 and carry the 1. And then 1 times 3 here is 3, plus this 1 I carried is 4. And then over here, 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 4 is 12. Write down the 2 and carry the 1. Then 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So both times here I get 42, so 42 pounds is going to be my final answer, choice B. This question says the local zoo has a collection of 40 snakes. If 8 of the female snakes each lay 7 eggs, how many eggs will there be in all? So here, they're giving us 3 numbers. So they're most likely giving us an extra number. So if they're asking us about eggs, we have female snakes that each lay 7 eggs. So we don't need to know the total number of snakes. We just need to know that there's 8 laying eggs. This each number tells us that it's most likely going to be multiplication. So if I have 8 times 7, that's 56. So that means there's going to be 56 eggs in all, which that makes sense if I think about each snake having 7 eggs, and there's 8 snakes total. So letter C is going to be my final answer. A local hotel offers a pet special. Treat bags are made in advance for the pets. A dog treat bag contains 4 items. If 4 dogs are expected, how many items will there be in all? So here I have 4 items in a treat bag and 5 total dogs, and each one will get 1 treat bag. So because I said each, that means I'm probably going to be multiplying, or And so 5 times 4 here is going to be 20. And that makes sense. If there's 5 bags and each one has 4 in it, that's going to be about 20 bags or 20 items. That makes sense. So my final answer here is going to be C, 20. At a field day, 18 students signed up to play musical beach towels first, while 4 times as many students signed up to play water balloon toss first. How many students signed up to play water balloon toss first? So it's asking for the total number of students that want to play the water balloon toss. So if I look here, it tells me that that's 4 times as many as the musical beach students, which was 18. So that means I'm going to take 4 times 18. So once again, if you're not familiar with how to multiply this way yet, you can take 18 and add it to itself 4 times instead. Both of these ways will get you the same answer. So in the multiplication, 8 times 4 is 32. So I write down my 2 and carry the 3. And then 4 times 1 is 4, plus the 3 is 7. So it's 72. Let's see if I check it by adding and get the same answer. So 8 plus 8 is 16. Plus another 8 is 24, plus another 8 is 32. So I'm going to write down the 2 and carry the 3. And then 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7. So that's going to be 72 also. So that means letter D, 72 students signed up to play water balloon toss first is going to be my final answer. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope you learned something new.